Beth Castellini with Lizzie Stamps, and today I wanted to show you one of the new online products that is available, and it is beautiful. It is the 3D Sunflower Embossing Folder. This is a big embossing folder. This embossing folder is 8.5. This one is 8.5 by 6. So you can fit 2 pieces of 4 by 5 1/4 pieces in here. I'm going to show you how I did some of the cards, but I want to show you some of the cards first because they are just absolutely stunning. The 3D embossing folder really is just amazing, and there's so much. I've seen so many cards from other demonstrators, but these are the cards that I came up with, and I will tell you that some of the stamp sets I've really never used before. So I'm excited to show you some of those stamp sets that I used today. So this one right here, this one is, I used Flirty Flamingo, and then this is Petal Pink, the 2-tone cardstock, okay? So our 2-tone cardstock is, I'm going to show you what I've done with these two real quick so you can see. So this is Petunia Pop, and so when I ran it through, I put both pieces in like this, okay? And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to put the ink over it to give it more depth in the card. But I just want to show you our 2-tone cardstock. It does have a white center core, but you get 2 tones of the color. They come in 12 by 12, and they are in every color that we offer. And so this one is the Petunia Pop, and then this is the lighter version of the Petunia Pop. So there's so much you can do with this, but here's the Petunia Pop, but then this is the other side. And as you can tell when I ran it through, it does crinkle a bit, but you can see the white core. Our regular cardstock is the color goes all the way through, but our white core paper, the 2-tone colored cardstock, as well as our designer series paper, both have a white center. Okay, so I wanted to show you this one. This stamp set that I used for this one is actually coming out in the holiday catalog, and it's called Peace on Earth. And I was part of Creativity, and we were able to order this suite, the whole suite, including the ribbon and the embellishments and the designer series paper, and we were able to make some cards in a cute little box. So this stamp set is great. It has some wonderful typeset as well as script. So this Big Hugs for a Good Friend came from this, but I just want to show you the dies that come with this. You have these 2 label dies, then you have some leaves, and then these are stars, and these right here, those are little male dies, and then you have these 2 beautiful doves. Really pretty. I'm going to show this to you, but this is a clear photopolymer brush stamp set. But I wanted to show you the 3D embossing folder, the sunflower one today, but that's the one I used for that card. So what I did is I took Flirty Flamingo, and well, first of all, what I did on this one is because of the 2-tone cardstock, you are able to use just like a sanding brush, a file. You can use light grade file if you wanted to, like you use for your fingernails. And then I just went ahead, and I do have an old sanding block, and this is the one I use, and I really wish Stampin' Up would sell these again, but they were great. But any kind of, you can get them at the dollar store that have the files, the smoothing, and this one is pretty gritty, but I made sure I didn't go over it too heavy. So I just lightly did that. Then I took the Flirty Flamingo cardstock and brushed against it. I'm going to show you how we do that with the Petunia Pop that I've already ran through the embossing folder. But look how beautiful this is, and using some of our linen thread. And so I used Flirty Flamingo, and then I went ahead and added some Petal Pink across it just to give it a little bit more depth. But look how pretty that is. And I used an extra piece of the Pretty in Pink two-tone cardstock, and this is the other side of it, and then use Flirty Flamingo. And then on the inside, Heartfelt Prayers. Again, that's part of that new Peace on Earth stamp set. And then I used, it was this Textured Notes, and you know the Textured Notes dies are awesome. So, because they have all these wonderful design rectangles, so those are good. And just stamped off the leaf, but in Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so that's that one. And then this one I did a little different. So I took some sponge daubers and I sponge daubed. I took, this is, I want to say it's Granny Apple Green. It's one of the lighter greens, or maybe, I don't think it's Lemon Lime Twist. I think it's Granny Apple Green, or you could use Old Olive. But then all I did was take a sponge dauber and just sponge daubed around, and Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo. I have a little bit of Cajun Craze on here. And then what I did is I took the Strawberry Slush. I think I took the dark Strawberry Slush blend. And then all I did was take it, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but I want to show you real quick what you can do. The quickest way is to add splatter to it, is to take your bone folder and just tap it. And look how you can get that splatter. So a lot of people have been showing to flick it like this, but that ruins the nib of the blend. So this makes it so much better, and you get this nice little splatter. So I like that. I'll show it to you with the Petunia Pop when I do it. All right, so that's what I did with that. And this stamp set right here is and this one again, I have never used before, but this goes with our To The Point punch. And this one is Bright Borders. And look how cute these are. So I took a piece of white and then I stamped this image first and then stamped the sentiment on the inside using Flirty Flamingo. And so I stamped it in Old Olive, and then I colored it in with Flirty Flamingo and a little bit of the Strawberry Slush. And then I took and I sponged, again using a dauber, sponged around because it just looked too white for me. And then you have this beautiful 1/8 of an inch Daffodil Delight satin ribbon, and I double knotted it. And then on the inside, again, this is still part of that stamp set, these cute little flowers. Stamped it on the inside in Daffodil Delight, and then Thank You in Flirty Flamingo. So I think this is a really nice stamp set. I love the borders because it really goes with any of your floral stamp sets that you have. Okay, so that's those two. All right, so then the next one, and you'll notice I took these, all of the layers that I'm using were all two-tone color cardstock. So this card base is Azure Afternoon, but then you have Misty Moonlight, and I took Blueberry Bushel and I brushed it over it. So again, I used the deboss side. This is some of that new beautiful Misty Moonlight and Silver 1/2 inch ribbon. Look how pretty that is. And that's part of that Peace on Earth suite that it will be available in the holiday catalog. And then I took from our Spotlight on Nature and I stamped the butterfly and fussy cut it out. And then I added a little bit of Winkostella. And then again, this is the Thanks from the Spotlight on Nature stamp set. And I fussy cut that out. And then I used some of our rhinestones. And here's the inside. So what I did here is I stamped it in Misty Moonlight. Then I took my Winkostella and made a little puddle on my lid of my Azure Afternoon, and then just painted it on. So again, you get that beautiful two-tone color. So that's that one. And then the next one, now you'll really see what I'm talking about when you're using the sanding. So this is Old Olive two-tone cardstock. This is our new Secret C. This is one of the new in colors in our annual catalog, but this is the cardstock, and this is probably one of my new blacks. It's really just a beautiful deep blue, Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy together. It's just absolutely stunning. And so again, I did use that new Peace on Earth stamp set, and again, I used the label, and I had just a little piece, so I actually I couldn't actually fit it on the label die that I have for this stamp set. And so I just went ahead and just tucked it underneath. So you still see it. And I sanded this. So you'll notice, see the white core that you have in here? And so that's what I used. And I just used the sanding block that I have, but you can use any kind of sanding block. And I didn't want to color over it. I just wanted to give it a little more depth. And then again, I took the Secret C blending brush, or the Stamping Blend, and then I tapped it just with the way I just showed you how to do that. And again, you have these cute little leaves, and I cut those apart. These are our new pearl, the 2025 to 27 flat pearls, and they come in all the colors, but they're just sort of like an iridescent. They're really, really pretty. And then on the inside of this one, With Deepest Sympathy. Again, this is from that Peace on Earth stamp set. Okay, so here is the Peach Pie two-tone color cardstock, and I used the embossed side, and again I used the blending brushes, and I have Cajun Craze as my card base. And you'll notice too again that I used Old Olive, I used some Cajun Craze, I used a little bit of, I think, crushed curry as well, and a little bit of the Peach Pie. And then I used the Spotlight on Nature die right here, and Just a Note, and the Just a Note comes from Simply Said, and this one came out in the annual catalog last year, which it did carry over. So this one again is just one of those staple sentiment stamp sets that everybody needs to have. You have thanks, hello, just a note, birthday wishes, and then the sentiments that go on the inside. So that one is a really good one. And then all I did was splatter a little bit of the Old Olive on there, because again I just didn't want it stark. And then I took some of the Peach Pie thread and I cut it in half. So I laid the 1/4 inch, this is a 1/4 inch of the ribbon, and then I just cut it in half and then made it into a double bow. So that's that one. And then on the inside, I used Thinking of You. And then this is the leaf image from the Spotlight on Nature stamp set. So there's that one. Okay, this one is using the deboss side. We have some new Mossy Meadow and Gold 1/4 inch ribbon. Look how pretty that is, just so beautiful. It really's got like 2 colors on it. If you notice, like you can use the flat side here or this one. And I think it's just stunning. And I used some of our loose gold sequins, okay? And they're great for shaker cards. But what I did, so this is Old Olive, and then I brushed up, I think it was Mossy Meadow, and I just used it lightly across the image. And look at this, how the deboss side makes such a great print. It's absolutely stunning. And then I've got Garden Green cardstock, and then I took Mossy Meadows and stamped it, and this is part of our textured notes with the dies and the stamp set. Really, really pretty. And then on the inside, I stamped the thank you, and then again, and I stamped off. And this is actually, I used Basic Beige. Again, that's one of my new whites, but the Basic Beige is it's just a little bit more muted than the white. The white was just way too bright. So there's the inside. Okay, this one is Pool Party, and I used Lost Lagoon on this one, and then I splattered it. Isn't that pretty? I splattered it, I think I splattered it with Pretty Peacock, to be honest with you. But here again, you have the Pool Party, and I just used, again, that stamp set that uses our To the Point punch, and that one is the Bright Borders, so that's using that one. And see, isn't that pretty with the leaves? Really easy to use. I really wanted this simple, and here's our beautiful, this is our silver ribbon. It's the mesh silver ribbon that we have, and then some of our rhinestones. And then on the inside, again, I stamped off that flowered image from that stamp set, and then From Me to You. So you're just really getting to see like the different colors. Okay, this is another one of my favorites, and this is Soft Seafoam 2-tone cardstock, and I used Lost Lagoon on it. This is the Lost Lagoon cardstock, and then look at that. For some reason, it's just like, I mean, I could sit here and make just card after card after card. I'm going to do a watercolor technique as well using this embossing folder. But again, here I'm using the dies and the little note of appreciation that goes with textured notes, okay? And then our wonderful, and then again, I did this, I think I double knotted it 2 times, so you really have, I wanted a lot of loops, and then I frayed the edges of the linen thread. But there's that one, and then on the inside, And then that's the Soft Sea Foam and Lost Lagoon. So, and then this one is using Summer Splash. So I took it, sort of wrapped it like a present, and then made a double bow. And I took, this is Soft Sea Foam again, I think so, or Pool Party. And then I used Summer Splash across it. And then I stamped Summer Splash. Here's some of our iridescent pearls that we've got. And then on the inside. So I wanted to use the same color family, and I just think they're really stunning. Here's the other one. But this is Summer Splash on the Soft Sea Foam two-tone cardstock. And this is what I used. I used this punch, which is the Labeled with Love punch. And I took a piece of the scrap of the Shy Shamrock, or is it Summer Splash? I always get them mixed up. It's Summer Splash. Yeah, there we go. And so I used a piece of the cardstock, and then I cut it in half just to layer it on the Soft Sea Foam. But this is the Summer Splash. And again, that's using that Simply Said stamp set. And on the inside, let's celebrate. All right, so the last one, now this one I used embossing powder. This is our copper embossing powder. This is our peach pie to cardstock. And we have a piece of Calypso Coral for the layer. I took, and all I did was take the Versamark stamp pad, brushed across it, and then just put the copper embossing powder all over. So you don't see it all, but I do like that you've got some here, but you really get a good outline of the sunflowers. And again, this is just a scrap of peach pie with, I think I stamped that in Cajun Craze, but this is Calypso Coral. And again, with the linen thread, and on the inside, I stamped off, and this is Cajun Craze, and then the Heartfelt Prayers with that. This is that Peace on Earth stamp set. So those are the ones that I've been doing. I think it's just so much fun. So here I'm going to show you today, and I'm going to use a piece of scrap paper just because I have this rubber mat underneath so we don't get a glare. So as I said, so here, if you look at it, I ran both of them together through at the same time, and then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to brush across using the Berry Burst stamp pad. So as you can see, like I said, if you were to take your sanding block, and you can see how you would get this white effect, and you could just leave it that way and it would be just beautiful. So we might do that, and then I might brush over across. So, but I do want to go ahead on the other side. I'm using the deboss side this time. So I'm taking my stamp pad, and I'm going to turn this just a little bit because I'm left-handed, but I'm going to lightly brush across, and look at how you get this beautiful effect. I'm going to turn it around and do the other side. Your fingers probably will get a little messy, just FYI. Now, if you can look and see how you like this. You say, well, it's pretty dark down there. Do I want to add another swipe across? But I don't think so. Maybe over here. So I'm just going to go this way. There we go. And got a little bit more of that flower. But look at that. That is absolutely stunning. So if we were to here's the deboss side, and then this is the deboss that I just ran across with our Berry Burst. Isn't that so pretty? I think it's just stunning. I mean, you could just use color after color. So I'm going to close this up for just a minute because I do want to show you what I'm talking about with the sanding block. What's beauty about our two-tone cardstock is, again, that white core. And so I'm just brushing very lightly. And this does make sort of a mess. I would do this over my trash can, but I really just want to get as much of the detail, and I'm being very light because this will tear. The two-tone cardstock is a little bit, it's not as thick as our regular cardstock, so you really want to be careful that you don't tear. So look how pretty that is. Doing that just a little bit more, and yes, as I said, it will make a little bit of a mess, but you can brush it off. So how do we like that so far? I just sort of want to, I'm going to go across it a little bit more and down here as well. I could use this side. Probably would be easier. There you go. than using the thin side. But look at that. I think it's just so, see, and so it, just like I said, it tears, so just be careful. I tore a little bit right there, but look at that. It's just so stunning. Okay, so that's using a sanding block of your choosing. And then what you're going to do now, instead of using the Berry Burst this time, now I'm thinking I want to use a little bit of a lighter color because I want to be able to show, and since this is the darker side, I could use Petunia Pop over it, but I just want a little bit of color. So I'm going to go with a lighter color, and I'm thinking, do I want Flirty Flamingo? You could even use Strawberry Slush, but let's try just to make it a little more subtle, but I'm going to use my Pretty in Pink and just brush up against it. This gives it a little bit more of a muted, but you can see where the colors, where I sanded, it's really picking up. And I could do it a little bit more, and I could put a little bit more pressure down. So see how it's getting darker? So that's Flirty Flamingo, but look how dark it is. So you get an idea of what it looks like. So those are my two that I wanted to show you. So here is using the Flirty Flamingo on the embossed side after I sanded it. And then this is the debossed side of the two-tone cardstock. Remember, this is Petunia Pop. And this is the other side, the lighter side of the Petunia Pop. And then I used Berry Burst. So I think I'm really liking this one. This one is pretty, and I probably will do a little bit more with it. I could probably add some more colors, but I just wanted to show you exactly how this 3D embossing folder, and it's incredible. It's not part of a suite. It's not part of a bundle. It's just by itself. And there's just so much you can do with it. And I would tell you that this definitely will sell out quickly, or it will be, it won't be available. I mean, everybody's using this. They see it, and it's just because there's just so much. You can make them as bright and colorful, or you can make them just like using the different color families with it. So anyway, again, I'm just going to show you real quick the cards that I made again, just so you can see them. And I mean, there's just a variety of, there's just so much that you can do with this embossing folder. It's just absolutely beautiful. I'm just such a sucker. And again, I've seen plenty of other demonstrators and crafters use this, but there's just really so much you can do with it. So I really hope that you give it a try. Don't forget, this is an 8.5 by 6 embossing folder. So you can put 2 pieces of 4 by 5 1/4 and lay it in there. So you can really create as many cards as you want to. So I really hope you enjoy this. I will have all the pictures on my Instagram feed as well as on my Facebook page. But really hope you guys try it out. And don't forget to go, if you'd like to order this, to lizziestamps.stampinup.net. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and happy stamping.